started our wellness program about 10 years ago. There were a couple of things that we were wrestling with. Obviously, as healthcare costs continue to increase, it's one of the primary discussion points that a lot of people start when they look at a wellness program. There are two ways that we can control healthcare costs. The first is by improving the care that's delivered, but the other is by reducing the demand that people have for healthcare. The best way to do that is to help them lead healthier lives. And that was primarily the motivation for a lot of the wellness activities that we started with. And from there, we quickly build into several other opportunities. So as we are building a wellness program that looks at the whole individual along with reducing healthcare costs, we're also looking at ways that we can model a program that the rest of our community, the rest of our members in our health plan can adopt. So when people ask me what's the best part of the program, or what, as I look back over a little more than 10 years of effort and in building wellness programs and things, I think the most exciting thing about our program right now is seeing people's enthusiasm, seeing both individuals, they're getting each other to go out to go for walks, they're getting each other to think about cooking something different, about engaging in different ways. We have had a number of programs where we bring speakers in and people are ready to listen to what the speakers have to talk about, whether it's nutrition or relaxation techniques or something like that. But to see that enthusiasm, as we worked through the WELCOA challenge this last 12 weeks, and we finished that up just a little while ago, the best part about that was seeing everybody engage together and really as a group just pull each other along and motivate each other. The feedback from people who hadn't been real engaged in programs before, suddenly getting into it because they were realizing the kind of starting small but little and then getting better and better, the physical effects and the emotional effects of physical activity on a regular basis. They really learn something, and as they buy into each one of those, they get more enthusiastic and more excited every step of the way.
It's been a great pleasure to work with Group Health Cooperative of Eau Claire and Peter Farrell, CEO. With the City of Eau Claire, they've been instrumental to help our employees to get healthier and to save insurance costs, but also they've really taken a strong effort in moving upstream and addressing the conditions that affect people's health on a larger scale with population health, whether it's looking at the built environment, bike lanes, trails, parks, community gardens, and even pledging financial support to help the city study a year-round public market. So without their assistance, we couldn't do what we're trying to do to build a healthier community here in the city of Eau Claire.
I think, as I look back over the last decade in the wellness programs that we've been building and the evolution of our program, both internally and the evolution of the programs that we've had with some of our member groups with Group Health Cooperative, the biggest challenge, I think, is just the patience to introduce programs to people, introduce change into people's lives slowly, and recognize that each one of those steps, and no matter what it is we're talking about, is a slow process of patience and just kind of helping them kind of one step at a time engage in those things. Physical activity, then how do we deal with stress and relaxation and all of the other components? How do you enter a nutrition component? And then evolving our programs toward results-based programs so that it's no longer just kind of keeping track of what you're doing, but what kind of outcomes are we seeing? How are we actually improving some of the measures that people have? And when we started moving programs to that, both our internal program and with some of our groups, that's when we started to see real dramatic changes. When we saw unmanaged hypertension drop from a normal 20, 22, 23% of a population down to single digits. We have several groups that have less than 1% of their population with an unmanaged hypertension. At that point, you know that your wellness program is actually having an impact, that we're saving lives on a regular basis, literally. We're preventing strokes, we're preventing heart attacks. When you see measurably the weight come down in an overall population and things like that, that's when you start to see that kind of over time, and it starts to get really exciting because it's a decade of work that is starting to really pay off in those last few years.